Welcome, you have reached Imperial Sports. In today's video will be the state of the NBA playoffs as of June 24th, 2021. So let's get into it. So the last video, of course, was game 2 of Suns versus the Clippers, and Paul George fell short. So since that time, we had the first game of game 1, the Bucks versus the Hawks, and I always think like when an underdog team is playing against the better team, the best game to steal is game 1, and so technically, by on paper, the Bucks should win this series, and if Giannis is who they want him to be, two-time MVP, he should be able to snatch this series, be unstoppable, and get his team to the NBA Finals and play for a championship. However, ice cold Trae Young got something to say to that. The Hawks have been playing with house money the whole playoffs, ever since they were like 14 and 20 when Nate McMillan took over. They've been playing with house money. Nobody expected nothing. They got in the playoffs, supposed to lose to the Knicks, supposed to lose to the Sixers, beat both teams. Now they expected, suppose odds makers saying they should lose to the Bucks. They won game 1, and they're playing relentless out there. And what happens is you take an underdog, and they can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and they can believe they can win. You, there's no limit on what they can do, and so now you got this team believing, like, hold up, we belong here. We fought and crawled to be here, and we could actually win this series and get to the finals ourselves and write our own path and become our own legends. They can steal a championship. When you see wins like that, that wasn't like, oh, that was a fluke or whatever, where somebody might say, okay, back when Iverson was on his run, he got to the finals with the versus the Lakers, and when he was on finals versus the Lakers, he won game 1. The difference is that Shaq was a dominant during that time. Kobe was the man during that time. So he had two superstars he had to go against, and all he had really was himself and a supporting cast. So, he did get game 1, and if they say a player is great going against a team that's well put together, he can at least get 1. So he did get his 1, and after that, the rest of the series. But honestly speaking, though, it was like during that series, if I recall, there's a couple games that I thought they should at least got 2 and made it more interesting, but they didn't capitalize. I think it was one of them series. I think Shaq was in foul trouble one of them series or something, and they didn't capitalize on it. So nevertheless, Trae Young, he did, and he got game 1 of this series. And the thing is that it's not like I don't see why this series can't go to 7 or Hawks win. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know, because they do have to contend on all cylinders for them to win this series, because you're looking at Giannis had 34, Holiday had 33, Middleton, I forgot what he had. It's just the rest of their cast couldn't whatchamacallit. And Hawks played close the whole. I think they was down by 5 at halftime. They played close, and it was just Trae Young by himself, and the rest of the players didn't have no double figures. And then second half came, and the role players came with them, and then they start balling. And before you know it, ended the game 116, 113. So this is going to be an interesting series, and Hawks do have the opportunity to make some real serious moves, and even if they lose tonight, tonight, on the 25th, they're going back home 1-1. And if they defend their home, they'd be up in the series 3-1. You know what I'm saying? So they shifted the home court advantage. They used their home court to inspire the role players. They could change this whole series. So their second game at the Bucks. Just imagine if the Bucks lose tonight. Ooh, man, the pressure that would be on the Bucks on Sunday. The pressure that would be on the Bucks on Sunday, the 27th. If they lost tonight, because everybody be looking at Hawks at home, inspired by the crowd, they could go for the sweep. And whoo, So that's pretty much it. And then you had last night, the Clippers. They just, I can't really get gassed off the win. The Clippers really, their first game home. Series is 2-1 now. They won. They just hold it court. And then on Saturday, the 26th, they got to do it again. Hold court. Defending home. So then it's 2-2. The good thing about the Clippers, especially if they get the next game at home, is 2-2. They're going back to Phoenix knowing that they was in game 1, and game 2 they should have won. Ain't no coulda, shoulda, wouldas, but they could have won game 2. So really, if they win last night, they won convincingly. If they win again on Saturday, they going in with Phoenix, even though it's a 2-2 series. Phoenix, they did get Chris Paul back, but they gotta be a little wary because Clippers might have the formula to beat them, and all they gotta do is get the one game. If they win Saturday, it's a 2-2 series, and then there's gonna be some pressure on Phoenix to win that game 3. So, playoffs is good right now. It's rocking. Patrick Beverly got healthy at the right time. He is out there putting that pressure on Booker. He's putting that pressure that's needed on Booker, and where Booker's a good player, so he gonna get his points and stuff, but he making them work hard for it. And that and then you had Chris Paul came back. I think Chris Paul had like 15 and 12, so that helps them as well. So we're gonna see who's gonna rise to the occasion. And other NBA news, it's nothing really. They're talking. I'm hearing trade rumors with Ben Simmons right now. And I think they just need to part ways. I heard something about sending Ben Simmons to league development and all that. Nah, just cut your ties, cut your losses, and trade them. The trades I've been hearing, I heard a Golden State now. And I've been pushing for Golden State to use what they got to get a player. But Simmons is not it. Simmons is not it. Stop looking at somebody that I think when they look at Simmons, he could be the younger version of Sean Livingston. When they think of Simmons, I think, and that when they during their championship years, that worked well with them having young Livingston, and then as he got older, it didn't work no more. But they looking at that aspect of a big guy that can control the floor, where you can have him distribute the ball and be a solid defender. I know that's what they're looking at when they see Simmons. If that is even on the table, because that could just be a rumor, somebody putting that out there. I know that's what they're looking at. But the difference is what you will have to give up for Simmons. And Livingston wasn't no big contract. He was one of them contracts where you get he was getting role player money to fill in the gaps. Simmons is going to take cap, you know what I'm saying? And so you don't pay a player like that you're going to need more of, because what you paying them or whatever. And nah, don't go that route, man. Don't do that. That'll be terrible. That'll be terrible, man. That'll be terrible if you got Simmons on top of, if you use all the picks, Wiggins, Wiseman, and you was able to get Bill or Bogdanovich from Utah, if you was able to do that and then still pull off the Simmons move, yeah, then I could go with that then. But if that's not what you doing, nah, don't waste them picks on no Simmons. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't waste them picks on or them players for Simmons. You know, I wouldn't say that unless only way I can see that move get made. Let's say there's something like traded Wiggins for Simmons, right? Because Philly could use Wiggins. Especially if what Philly could do, they could trade Simmons for Wiggins, and then they could reach out to Kyle Lowry and pick up Kyle Lowry in the off season. See, then that way they picked up offense and some youthfulness in Wiggins, but then they pick up, that point guard that they need and Kyle Lowry, even though I hear the Lakers is going after Kyle Lowry as well. So if that's the move, I can see that. That way, if Washington was still willing to give up Bill for Wiseman and those draft picks, first round draft picks they got, lottery draft picks, they was willing to do that, then I can see where that's the moves that could be made to make, how you get Simmons and Bill or whatever. And then I could say, okay, the Warriors is they're moving. I can see how that happened. If it ain't going like that, then you don't use all your tools to get Simmons. He's not that impactful to your offense or team that y'all could fix him. He's a liability out there. You know what I'm saying? His confidence and all that. But nevertheless, that's my take for everything right now. Subscribe to the channel. Definitely like the video. Make a comment. Share the video. All the above. Till next time.